Good morning, everybody. You're very, very welcome to the auditorium in the main campus in WIT. We are going live from the auditorium as part of Waterford New Music Week's Schools Choral Day 2016. The schools we have with us this morning are WIT Music School. We have Ballygunner National School. We have Mount Sion Primary School. And we have De La Salle Stephen Street. So we know boys and girls from all the schools are watching in this morning, watching us live. All of the children have been rehearsing since January for this event, which we have themed 1916, Cherishing All Children Equally. The children will be reading excerpts from Molly's diary, and later on in the morning they will also be reading their own proclamations, but a little bit more about that later on. So we hope you enjoy our performance here this morning, live from WIT Auditorium. So our first reader this morning to start the excerpt from Molly's diary are from WIT Music School.
It is Easter Sunday, the day the Lord has risen, and also the O'Donovan family, up and out bright and early, even though it is a holiday. Mother told me Jack left to go to the mountains at the crack of dawn with his pals. That's the first I've heard about a trip to the mountains. I wonder if that is true, or if there's going to be some sort of march after all. And that's his excuse. Mother and I set off at 7 o'clock with baskets of eggs for some of the families in the slums around us. The blind basket makers up the road had given us some dear little baskets, which we had decorated with ribbons, and we had painted the boiled eggs. We didn't have time for breakfast, so Mother gave me a sticky bun as a special treat from the Dublin Bread Company. I ate half and put the other half in my hanky in my pocket beside my tin of humbugs. After Mass, Father and I accompanied Mother to Eamon Street Station. When we got home, there were several messages for Father to go straight into the GPO to run some maintenance checks. Our own telephone line wasn't working either, so he sent one of his boy messengers to fetch Miss Nugent to mind me and left straight away. But she sent a message that she had a headache, even though she had promised my mother she would be on hand to help out if any emergency arose. My father had already gone out and I was on my own. Not that I minded. I looked out the window and saw Jack's shadow, Hyacinth, pretending to window shop in Dunn's Hatters. Since it was Easter, I felt sorry for her wasting her time. Jack's gone to the mountains since the crack of dawn, I called out the window. I've just seen him go down by the quays with Anto, she said, saucy as you please. So he was lying about the mountains. Since Father has already gone out and Mrs. Nugent isn't here, I'm going to look for Jack with his new friends at Liberty Hall. This is being a bit daring. I don't normally go far afield on my own without Jack or my parents, but I really must find out what is going on, and I am a big girl now.
Cuss, 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 and it's blue. was free. Hooray! I decided to crawl out on the roof. I took Father's spyglass with me. It is brass and leather and extends out in 4 sections to just over 1.5 feet. It helps you see stuff miles away, as if it is under your nose. As I looked down Abbey Street, I saw martyrs from Liberty Hall and strained to see if Jack might be among them. I saw Matthew Connolly, the bugler, at the front, sounding the fall-in. As a group, including his brother Sean the actor, headed over Butt Bridge by the Customs House. They were quite a raggle-taggle army of about 60. I spotted the leader, James Connolly, in his dark green uniform with a gun with a bayonet. On his right, Patrick appears the teacher, with his large, pale face. In the darker green of the volunteers, beside him, the man who looks half dead, Joseph Plunkett, the Count's son, with a bandage around his throat. He was beautifully dressed in high tan leather boots with spurs, and wore a pince-nez eyepiece. They were marching together just like in Anto's poem. Some of the small army were in green uniforms, but many had made up their uniforms as if for a play. Some had no uniforms, just armbands. As I gazed at the marchers, I thought how sad it would be that so many people want to fight each other. I felt guilty for frightening poor old Nosy Nugent. I vowed to make an apology, so I raced downstairs to take her embroidery to the Metropole Hotel across the street from where she boards. I noticed that my father had left behind his sandwiches, as he was in such a rush for a meeting with the post office head, Mr. Hamilton Norway. I decided to take them to Father, as the GPO is just beside the Metropole. After that, I knew I would have a boring day doing Latin as penance.
I bolted into the main entrance of the GPO and inquired after my father. One of the counter staff said he might have left with Mr. Hamilton Norway, who had an urgent meeting at the castle. But another said he might still be in the instrument room as there was a few problems with the wires. And I joked with the clerk that some people have nothing better to do than buy stampos on a holiday. I was one of them. I quickly purchased a postcard and stamp for my mother and wrote a brief message saying how much I missed her. The clerk was ushering me towards the lift when the marchers from outside suddenly surged in. Everybody out shouted a tall, good-looking man. It was the big fella, Michael Connells. Several people looked with amusement as if it was a joke or some kind of game. The woman in front of me, a large lady with a colourful hat, sighed in annoyment. "I'm sorry, but my daughter is getting married in 6 weeks, and these are her wedding invitations," she insisted. "I'm not leaving here without my stamps."
She got the message when the rebel poked her gently in the back with his pike. Then the clerk vaulted over the counter and ran for the door. That was like a signal. A sudden understanding swept through the room, and it was a bedlam. People rushed towards the main doors in frenzy, coats flying, bodies bumping into each other. There was so much turmoil that some of the rebels were nearly pushed out of the doors themselves. I got the impression that some of them didn't realize themselves what was going on. At first it was comical, but then fear gripped me like ice in my veins. I felt my legs glued to the floor by the counter. "Smash the windows!" The yell broke through my stupor.
Still shaking, I looked out the window and saw the rebels distributing pamphlets to astonished onlookers. I wondered if it was the same notice I saw little Rosie Hackett running in with yesterday at Liberty Hall. The Proclamation, whatever that is. One of them is going to read something. I called out, "It's Patrick Pearse." Everything stopped in the instrument room. We gazed down below at Patrick Pearse, surrounded by broken glass. He held paper in his hand and twitched with nerves, but he read out his proclamation in a clear voice. Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations.
There were a few shouts of "Hear, hear." Then one person called, "Traitor." "Let the man speak," called out the flower seller at Nelson's Pier. "We hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom." Several people walked off, but the flower seller was weeping. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, cherishing all the children of the nation equally.
And now for the second part of our performance this morning, the children have been preparing their own proclamations as we celebrate 100 years of 1916 this year in 2016. The children have been having a think and a discussions and chats about what is relevant to them in 2016. So each of the schools have written their own proclamations. In between the readings of their proclamations, the children will perform a song or a piece of friendship and peace. So I'd like to invite our proclamation readers from WIT Music School to read their proclamation first.
We, the children of WIT Choral Program, proclaim that there should be homes for the homeless and food for everybody. We should have only 2 days off and 5 days of work.
Teachers should wear uniforms and children should be able to wear whatever they want in school. Kids should be allowed to play the law show and we should always win.
There should be no more cruelty to animals. Every school should have a bouncy castle.
Children should be allowed to vote and to be voted for. We should always sit down when singing. We should all give to charity and be more helpful. We should never have homework ever again, but if we do, we should be paid to do it. Everyone should have a necklace, and when you throw it against the wall, a unicorn should come out of it.
The students from Ballygunner National School to read their proclamation.
We, the children of St. Mary's Primary School, Ballygunner, proclaim that as children, we should have longer school holidays, we shouldn't have any homework, We should all be allowed to wear our own clothes to school. We should have electronic tablets instead of books. We should have a McDonald's restaurant in our school. We should have an indoor swimming pool in our school. We should have go-karts in the schoolyards. We should receive free ice cream every Friday instead of tests. Oh yes, and we should have a 3D cinema in 3rd class. We are the children of today, but the adults of the future. We deserve better.
I would now like to invite the boys from Mount Sion Primary School to read their proclamation.
Men, women, children, and the new citizens of Ireland, we declare our future a land of opportunity, equality, and prosperity. We strive for equal and respected living standards, cultures, love, and beliefs for the benefit of a united future. Our economy shall rise from its crippling recession. The country will go back to work. Our children will prosper from free education and sporting opportunities. We will not sit and wait for justice. It will be served to those who deserve. We will have the independence and opportunities to make changes to the way we live. The Irish language will once again be spoken in all its glory. The North and South may one day come together and celebrate unique Irish culture, putting our differences aside and burying a past to pave way for a future. Our people will share hopes and dreams. We must begin with basics. Everyone shall sleep safely on our shelter. Water will flow freely. The elderly cared for respectfully in hospitals, and our children will be encouraged to travel the world. We will build each other up and build on the opportunities fought for by the men and women of 1916. We will honour their fight by investing in our children and giving them a future that we can be proud of. Ireland will be 10 times the country it is today with the help of you and me.
I'd now like to invite De La Salle Stephen Street to read their proclamation.
We declare that every man and woman should have a home to live in, food to eat, and water to drink. Everyone should have a good job, good health, and education. Every man and woman should have equal rights, no matter the race, gender, or wealth. Every man and woman should be able to practice their religion, no matter what their religion is. Every man and woman should be safe in their homes and on the streets. Every child should be treated the same as each other. Every man and woman should be able to speak their native tongue.
morning, boys and girls. We hope you've all had a great morning singing. We're now all going to join together in We Are the World by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie. Please welcome our friends from City of Waterford Brass. And our friends from Theatre Box. we have come to the end of our 1916 Cherishing All Children Equally. On behalf of Waterford New Music Week, I would like to sincerely thank all of the children. So could I please give a big thumbs up and a clap for the boys and girls from WIT Music School. A big thumbs up and a pat on the back to all the boys and girls in Ballygunner National School. A big thumbs up and a pat on the back to all the boys in Mount Sion Primary School. And a big thumbs up and a pat on the back to all the boys in Sall Stephen Street. Mr. Quinlan obviously was banging the bodhrán up there, I take it? No? To all of the boys and girls who participated here this morning, thank you very, very much. You've all put in a tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of practice, I hope with a little bit of fun along the way. I do have a few thank yous, so if you wouldn't mind keeping your clap to the very end, because I do have a few people to thank. I would firstly like to thank my colleagues in the WIT Music School. This morning we had Sinead and Una with the children, so thank you very much, Sinead and Una. To all of the schools who have participated this year in the outreach programme, we had 5 schools involved this year, with St Ursula's and St Declan's participating yesterday morning. So to all of the teachers of all of the schools who are here this morning, thank you very much for being involved, and thank you very much sincerely for leaving me invade your classrooms every week since January. I've absolutely loved every single minute of working with and meeting with the children. I hope it's something that they will remember they did in years to come. So to all of the schools and the teachers, thank you very much. I would also like to thank the support we have received from WIT, from the Estates Office, the porters, and I am especially not forgetting our technical team led by Keane O'Carroll up in the crow's nest here beside me. So to all of the technical staff in WIT who made this possible, thank you. I just have one more. I'd like to sincerely thank my friend and colleague Dr. Hazel Farrell from the Department of Creative and Performing Arts for her support in the organising of this event. Hazel, thank you.
Okay, I think there's one person who hasn't been thanked. Do you know who that is? Who do you think? This person, I'll give you a clue. This person has been in your schools for weeks. She's been working with you. You have it. So Julie is a remarkable lady who has worked extremely hard for weeks and weeks and weeks with all of you guys, and we really appreciate all the efforts she makes, and the event today and yesterday indeed are an absolute credit to her. She's a fantastic musician and a fantastic teacher, so let's give Julie a really, really big thank you. So can we all stand for our national anthem, please?
And we'll now sing Our Naveen.